Hello? Hello?
Yes, we are testing. We are testing.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, relax. We are texting. I'm going to look for Holy Messenger Tayali Adams.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, yes. Great. Okay, we are testing our system. Our system is firing. It's firing. It's firing. Okay, thank you. We will move. We're about to start. We're just waiting. The numbers are growing very steadily there. We don't want anyone to miss out. We don't want anyone to miss out this important lecture. So we are about to get started. Excellent, excellent. There is some exciting things going on. My goodness, I can't wait. Anyway, maybe we may be about to get started. It's 7, well, it's 10:32 now. Here it's 7 p.m., but nonetheless, that's fine. The sun is still out. It's exciting. It's exciting that we are all gathered here for this important lecture. Yes, we are going to see. I'm sure I've seen the singers. The Saurombe family is there. So we're gonna be asking you in the next few minutes. Just 2 minutes to go. 10:35. We're going to kick off. So if you can prepare to just lead us in song, and once we are done, we get straight into. We are going to start with Evangelist T. Moyo, and I'll talk more about her in when the time comes. And then this is going to be wrapped up by Holy Messenger Tayali Adams, who is going to talk about the life in the host family. Of course, this is something that you can't just miss out. You know, get to understand what it was like, what it felt like, and everything. We will round up with probably a very few questions and answer. We are looking to have our presentation inside an hour and a quarter or an hour and a half at most. But we are welcoming those who would want to do some or share some or ask questions. We'll give you time to do so. We'll give you the time to do so. We have hit the magic number 50 and we are getting, still going up. We are going to continue with our lecture, and I'll talk more about why this lecture is important and why we organized it, and going forward what it will look like. And it's important that we don't stop learning. It's important that we don't stop sharing. It's important that we grow spiritually, and to do so is the more you are near the heat, the more warmth you get. If you stand very far away from the fire, you find that you get cold and cold and cold before you realize you have frostbite, which we don't want. But if you are closer to the heat, you keep warm and warm and warm. And we are, of course, today looking at the return of God. It's back on 10:35, as I said. Can I please ask if those who are able to stand up, do so? If not, like my gadget that I'm using today, as you can see, I'm in a different room. It's gonna be very difficult, challenging for me to stand up. So I'll ask the hymn leaders, the Saurombe family, to lead us with a song, and we will go straight into it. Since we came out of the service, we will go straight into the, yes. Singawazalane is what we are through our journey. Narini, Lanini, Kapsakteng. Yes, we are going to continue with our program, and our program starts now. Yes, we are excited. I want to welcome you to the inaugural first ever discussion, lecture, if you want it, sharing, if you want to use that word, where we are sharing the return of God, the events, the changes that witnesses saw. And we are talking about witnesses here, people who were there when some of these things were happening. And this is the opportunity for us to glean some and pick up some nuggets from this important discussion. Of course, we know that when God returned, it was not easy. It was not easy at all, because we realize from the literature, from the chosen 12, and from the host family, and from the host of God, we were told that it wasn't easy. There was tormenting, there was beating, there was spitting, there was anything you can just think of. Anything that you can think of was happening at that time. It wasn't easy. And Guta la Mwari did not just grow into as we see it today. There are some transitions, some changes that happened. And we can only hear from those who were apparently there when this happened. And to kick us off today, we are going to enjoy the company of Evangelist Tsitsi Moyo, or Ani Tawodzera. Of course, when we talk of the Tawodzera, we know the senior evangelist and what the role they played. And this is why we would want us to share with them this important information. And by the way, this, if you look at the literature, it says Mangeri Tawodzera was there as well, and moving around and being there where God was. And therefore, the children were there as well. They could see what the parents were doing. They could see what was happening. And we wanted to tap into what they saw. What did they see at that time? What was happening? What changes did they realize? How did they feel themselves? It wasn't easy. I remember also when we joined Gutaramari, it wasn't easy even just to put on your uniform, and people were pointing and saying, "What is that? Who do you think you are? What is this?" But and as time went on, people were accustomed to Gutaramari, but it wasn't easy. So I do not want to preempt. I want to introduce to you Evangelist Tsitsi Moyo, who is Nita Taodzera, the second daughter of Evangelist Taodzera, and was there when the voice God returned. Of course, during service time, they would go, they would do everything together and as a family, and we are going to hear none other than Evangelist Tsitsi Moyo. Let me put your slides on as well. Let's see if we can share your slides.
Can I start talking?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Ruregerero kuvavhangeri, vatungamiri, nechita chose chaungana panguva ino. Ndichirumbidza Mwari kuwanawo mukana wakadai wokuti nyangwe ndaive ndiri mudiki ndisati ndambosvika kana teenage time, asi zvimwe ndakazviona zvaiitika. Saka ndichangorondedzerawo sekuona kwandakaita panguva iyoyo. Kudzoka kwaMwari muna 1961 kwanga kusiri nyore, sezvo manzwa muvhangeri vachitaura nekunzwa nhoroondo yaitaurwa neve12. Kwanga kusiri nyore kudzoka kwawo Mwari muna 1961 tiri kuntumbane, asi Mwari vakati mutambo wavo. Munhu wenyama haaimbozvimirira zvairwadza. Munguva yerusando, mutumwa Janet vakanga vachitenderera mudivi vachitaura zvakawanda neshona, asi vanga vasingazive kuchitaura. Mazuva iwayo kwaiimbwa zvikurusa, vanhu vachidzana, nyangwe kuchinaya. Vanhu vanga vasingabvi padivi, dakara rusando rwasvika kumagumo. Vanhu vazhinji, zvikuru sei vana vaibatwa nemweya mutumwa Janet pavaifamba mudivi. Rimwe zuva nemusi wechitatu, zuva rinova rinotungamirirwa nevana muguta raMwari, kwakasarudzwa Margaret Zulu aigara kuMzilikazi kuti atungamire vakomana nevasikana. Akanzi ndiMiriam. Akaramba, haana kuziva kuti aramba makomborero. Kukava nemumwe akaimba achiimbira muvhangeri Zindoga vaitaura nezvokudzoka kwaMwari, kuti vanhu vakange vakanganwa here kuti zvakanzi ndinokudzokerai mashure me40 emazuva. Mwari vachadzoka, uyezve vanobvuma ndinavo nguva dzose. Aiimbira kuti vagare pasi vasataura nezvokudzoka kwaMwari. Vataodzera ndo vaitakura matenga nemotokari yavo, uye vachitarisa kuti hapana anosedera dhuze nematenga, nokuti ruzhinji rwaivenga kuti ndiMwari vadzoka vari muchimiro chavasingafungiri. Asi Mwari vakaona zvakakodzera kuti ive imba yavo, vakasunungura nyika vari munhu kuvanhu. Zvimwe ndichataura nendevende, mundiregerere, asi zvinongofanana. Nokuhamba kwesikati, kwayiwa eChinhoyi ngemota kaMnumzana Gondo, nguye owacelayo ukuthi umdali labanye abakhokheli bahambe. Bengakahambi umdali wathi ubona ameva lamazinyo aveziweyo, kodwa kwahanjwa kusaziwa kunjalo. Sebekhonale uGondo wasuka emoteni engumuntu oyabiza abanye akaphendukanga, lo wathunywayo kwesibili kaphendukanga. Umdali waziphumela waqonda echibini sokuyisikhathi senkonzo. Kulapho abakhonzayo bahlamuka bamdonsela phandle kwechibi, bayenza umathanda bachaya kwaze kwaqamuka izikopela zesambatho. Omathi kuhanje eChinhoyi abazange basondele ukuthi bancede emumeni owawusukhona. Kwaba lusizi, abalutshwana yibo ababa lozwelo, loba umdali wathi ngumdlalo wakhe kwakungathambanga. Lesi senzakalo lesi senzakala andubana njengombana ngiqalela phana ekuqaliseni ngathi kwakuyisikhathi sokuthi abantu babebuthene besazi besithi baye emhlanganweni. Sengingani ngiyabuyela emuva. Umhlangano lo wawusenziwa ngoDisemba, kwakudala kwakuthiwa ngumhlangano weKhisimusi, kodwa uNkulunkulu wakuguqula. Yiso isikhathi lapho kwathula khona ilizwi. Ekuthuleni kwelizwi ngo-1960 yikho okwathi ngemva kwama-40 ezinsuku kwaba lokuphenduka kaNkulunkulu ngesimo sesibili. Kwahlala kwayiwa enkonzweni le sokusukiwe khona le eChinhoyi, kwahlalwa koBulawayo kwayiwa enkonzweni eNtumbane, kodwa kwakulokusola, abantu belozondo olukhulu. Ekucineni kwasuka kwaqalwa ukungenela ezindlini zabe-12, kwazuzwa indawo eMpopoma South, kwakhiwa imishasha, abozondo bachisa imishasha leyo, kwakhiwa ishedi ngamazengi, kuqala kusindwa phansi ngobulongo loba umhlafutho, kwaze kwagcina sokufakwe isamende ukuze kube ngcono. Kuqala sasingenela phandle, sihlala phansi emhlabathini, siselatshwa sihlezi sinabile. Ukwelatshwa lokhu kwakuthintwa ngeminwe engani kudwetshwa, njengombana libona nakho lapho kuyaphuma umzila, kuze kuselatshwa kukhotheni. Lokwelatshwa sihlezi ezitulweni. Uxolo, ukwelatshwa kwakuthintwa ngeminwe engani kudwetshwa umzila, kwaguqulwa sahlala-ke emabhentshini. Lokwelatshwa sihlezi esitulweni njengoba siselatshwa khathesi. Abanengi basiliswa, kodwa babengahlali, babebuyela emasontweni abo. Abanye njalo babelamahloni okubonakala beseGudaramari, kodwa bekwazi ukuthi kulamandla asilisayo. Kudala isembatho sabobaba sasilemikhono emifishane lamabhurugwe amafishane, kungela thayi, konke sokwaguqulwa. Ekwelatsheni kwakungela bandlululo, kwakuselatshwa imihlobo yonke, abansundu labamnyama. Ngiyakhumbula abanye bakhona kwakungabakoRana, abakoThomas Mikus, labanye babuya bevela eHarare, abakoZimbabwe, abakhothi Zema, abanye ngabesanyathi Chizema Machiritsa, banengi, abanye babefikela ngakithi ePhelandaba, besazi ukuthi kuseduzane leGutaramari. Kwakuselatshwa ekuseni, emini, lantambama kudala. Kwaguqulwa kwaba sekuseni lantambama. Omunye owelatshwa eMpophoma South, uNkulunkulu nguFanti, owayesithi angahlala lapha ayehleli khona, wayethiswa lilanga, umqando kumbe izulu lisina aze aphakanyiswe engenilisi ukuzinceda. Lo wayengumna wakhe kaTafanana, bevelela ansakwazi kumbe babevelela ePlumtree kumbe eBotswana. Wasila, abazali baba lokujabulo okukhulu. Ngakithi kwakulomna wami ongelamayo, uMrs Ncube, wagogeka esesengumntwana, wasala enjalo ekuhambeni kwesimo sakuqala sikaNkulunkulu ngo-1960. Kwaba yinto edanisayo kakhulu, kodwa abazali bala bebambelele beseGutaramari, abazange ke badele. uNkulunkulu esephendukile, bona ngo-1961 welatshwa nguNkulunkulu, wasukuma wahamba. Abantu abanengi bamangala kakhulu. Abe-Chronicle babuya bezobona lesi simanga, bathatha imifanekiso. Kwaphuma lakumaphephandaba. Esikolo lapha ayefunda khona eMpumelelo Primary School, bamangala bembona esesiza ezihambela ngemva kweminyaka eminengi egogekile. Omunye wamatitshala waze wathi, if miracles happen, they happen in Gutaramari. Banengi abelatshwayo ngumdali, basila, angenelisi ukubaqamba ngamagama bonke. Umsebenzi wensindiso lo mkhulu, ubanzi njalo. Kulamandla omoya oyingcwele, angela mkhawulo. Asiqineni sibe lezibindi, singayekethisi umsebenzi lo, silandele izimiso ngoluhlu lwazo ngokungapheliyo. Okunye njalo ngingathi ngengeze. Hallo, ngicela ukwengeza khonapho, ngicela ukwengeza Bhakeli.
Go ahead.
Ngelinye ilanga sasiseBotswana, njengoba ngisitsho kwakungahlalwa phela, kwakuhanjwa kudingwa izigulane ukuthi zizokwelatha ziguquke. So sahamba thina, sasesithunywa ke njengabantwana ukuthi siye emthonjeni siye kukha amanzi. Sasikomambo, ngiyakhumbula ngalowo mnyaka. Kwahamba mina noSithuna Chimoto ukuthi siyethatha amanzi. Siyahamba siyazixoxela nje, sithe sesiphenduka ngiyaxoxa ngithi mina, yilizwe bani elingela nyamazana? Wena usuke wabona inyamazana? Hey, zithe zisiza inyamazana zintathu. Mina ngethuka ngabe ngichitha amanzi, kodwa uSithuna Chimoto wala lokho ethwele amanzi, mina ngachitha ngokwesaba. Yikho-ke saba yisifundo kimi ukuthi ukukhuluma umuntu engazapho ngokuthatha izinto kalula. uNkulunkulu wangitshengisa ukuthi nazi inyamazana. Sengathi singahlala sivume senze konke okufunwa nguNkulunkulu izikhathi zonke ngokungapheliyo.
Lanini. My lessons never stop to amaze me. In summary, we have heard a little about, of course, the trip to Chinhoyi and what transpired there, where the Gondo and team went to Chinhoyi, but when they were told or asked to do certain things, they did not. And I'm sure you will read a lot about this literature. We have heard about it. The most, I think, what I've picked as well today is, that from the transition when Gutaramwari started, you could see they had short sleeves and short pants, and it was then long pants first, then the long sleeves as well. And neckties, as you can see now, we look, I think I look, how do I look? I look good, isn't it? With a necktie on. And I think those are some of the things that we saw, the transition from healing sitting on the ground to sitting on benches and to personalize the healing, where you are sitting on your own, on the chair, and your Holy Spirit is administered. Oh, what a wonderful journey that has been. It's so encouraging to see, to know. If you look at Mpopoma South, that the picture here about Mpopoma South, you know, and where we are now, you can see the vast difference in and so forth. But we are not stopping here. Imagine what the museum is going to look like. We are taking it to another level. We had this level. We had this level here that we know, but the museum is going to another level. So you brace yourselves to be part of the change, to be part of those who are making the history of Gutaramwari. As you can see, we are talking about history here. We are talking from where we were here, right, to where we are now here, and to the level of the museum, which of course, most of us are just dreaming of. We all know as well that, you know, that Mzilika is the R43 square. We will talk about more of this. And if you have got any questions, jot them down, because I want to go, we have done the first 20, 30 minutes, almost half an hour. We will go into the next one. And Holy Messenger Tayali Adams is going to present, but I wanted to call again the Saurombe family and give us a very interesting tune, just to keep us spirited. Whichever you choose, any chorus, anything, please, can we get to the Saurombe? I'll stop sharing. Let me stop sharing this one here. And anything that is, you know, that makes us feel good. Yay! Oh, yes. yes, and yes, Narini. I am blessed to be a member, just a member of Gutarama, just to be selected from the multitudes in this world, the multitudes in Zimbabwe, in Botswana, in Australia, in South Africa, in Kenya, in America, in the United Kingdom, in China, in wherever you are. You know, you are very fortunate to be one of those selected. No, but what does that really mean to us? I think we just say, sometimes we do lip service. We need to get down to actually thinking deeply, like we had this morning service. I can't just, if you were not there, look for it. We all record all these things, look for it and go for it. And just listen to your the testimonies that we shared this morning with just another level. I think we need to keep going. I'm sure you're all rubbing and anticipating to hear what Holy Messenger Tayali Adams is going to give us. And remember here, this is very, very important. Being part of the host family. What was it like? I'm curious to know what went behind the scenes. What really transpired? We want to hear from those who were born and raised in this host family. Not hearsay, not dreaming, but those who were in the family. And none other than Holy Messenger Tayali Adams. She is going to share with us her experiences, and I am glad. Admin, are you able to share? I think I'll do the sharing. Are you able to share her slides?
Thank you.
Okay, I'll look for that myself over here and see if I can grab something out. Let me just give me a moment. Whilst I'm saying this, it's important that we share. Imagine someone said this morning that some would even go to where, I mean, imagine I have heard people who here from Australia have gone as far as where Jesus was, and they said, I really just want to see where this Jesus walked. Yeah, imagine people just saying, I just want to see where this person or this their Jesus walked. And we are not demeaning, we are not saying whatever it is, but that time will come. We are fortunate that we are already in this area, in this space where we are able to be, to say, yes, God walked here. Yes, this is what happened. Yes, I was there when that happened. Just imagine how lucky we will be when that time comes where people are going to be. Of course, it's generation after generation, and we will be excited. And when we see Gutaramari blossom into that moment where people realize the world over that God actually we shared. I would think next time the Saurombe family, if you could prepare that would be exciting. But we will go move on to Holy Messenger Tayali Adams, who is going to share with us her experience of living in the host family. Over to you, Holy Messenger Tayali Adams.
Rogerero kuavangeli inowatungamiri nacho chita chauya kuzorumbidza Mwari. Ini ndinoitwa Helen Tayali Adams. I'm a holy messenger in Gutaramari, based in London at the moment. I'm one of the 5 daughters. I'm number 6 in the family of 8 at the time. It is a privilege the slide can it to be in this family and an honor. My parents were unique. My parent, at the end of the day, he was my father, the host of Kutaramwari. I'm lucky that they were chosen by God. But at the same time, on that picture is my father. He taught us, we were trained how to handle the situation. He taught us at a young age from Zilikazi that I'm a father in two. When he's dressed like that, I call him Baba Maskati when I'm coming from school. It was an amazing family. We knew him, and we have heard all the teachings. What happened from December 1960, as we are now in our waiting period, and we are on the day 36 today, and some of you, and some of us, all of us, we are counting, looking forward for all the goodies. Next slide. My father was a very, as I said, a unique man. In this picture, we would address him as Kutaramwari children. When he calls us, Helen, we will clap our hands. In our family, we grew up in a difficult situation, but the way he trained us, it made us comfortable. It was not easy, but we accepted it. We accepted it, and we could see and hear that now is different. Now he's not talking, just like the way you'd know a teacher in a class. I don't put it that example. He had, I would say, many characters. He was unique, but when he's dressed like this, you also, you would have that spirit of knowing that I'm now talking to Matenga. Even when he said, when I'm wearing a sash, because as all children, we know when we are growing up, when Baba is coming from work, you run for him. But when he comes from Buddha, everybody will love. The way you love your father, that's the way I loved him. That's the way he loved me also as a daughter. And let's not forget that me lost my mom at a young age, and this is the same period. But he taught us how to engage death. He taught us how to accept it. That I give a referral on to lesson 6, those who want to read more. Because me personally, I'd say that now I'm not going to Chiwimbiso, going through all this. But the way he handled it after that same 1975, it was so unbelievable. And for some of us, I did have a chance to talk to him, said, Basaramwari. That's why I'm saying that we were taught how to handle things, how to do things. That's why if you see at all the children, we like to maintain our low profile. We were taught manners, but we were taught. And as I say, it was not an easy family to grow up into, because I would say personally, the whole Zimbabwe bullied us. We were bullied, given names. Every corner we go, we'll be called that. But when we come back home, as I said, we'll be talking to a parent. How was your school? Just like every parent, what you do with your children, you ask, how was your day? How was what? He did that with us. At the same time, knowing that the situation out there is dangerous for my children. But we were protected by God. Because me, I remember there was a time I once asked him, why don't we have a bodyguard? What, me having a bodyguard? We are protected. You know, he did say that to me. And that same question, I did ask it again when I was living here in UK. There was a day when we were coming from Buta. We are using that Luveve road where those Famona industrial sites. There were no lights. It was sort of dim. No, when you are coming from Europe. Africa lights, they are a bit darker. They are dimish, sort of. So I just said, this is, you drive like this. We're coming from Buta, evening service. You drive at this hour in the dark like this, because sometimes when Ngarawa is too long, you will come home very late from an evening service. Then I said, oh, why don't you have a bodyguard? He said, you have asked me that question before. Why do you keep on about it? I'm not going to have a bodyguard. In any bodyguard, you know, he was telling me, who am I talking to? Who would need a bodyguard? My father was a very unique man. Some of us as a child, you would want to protect your own parents, but you will see that, no, you're talking Namwari, or even though you're wearing his normal clothes, you give you that sign that, you know, can you say change or a subject or something? He's no longer that same father. It was a difficult situation, but we adjusted. We got used to it. He wanted every child in Butaramwari, everybody to do good. It's there again in volume 6. All the children should be educated, should be what. Next slide, please. As you can see, young and old in Butaramwari, they are being graduates. They ask and they get what they want. In Butaramwari, there's a power. Some of us, we have seen it with our own eyes. We have seen all the miracles with our own eyes. We know that if you ask for a thing, you get it. And that is if you abide by the standing orders. My father, as talking as a parent, here is there, my father and my mom, before they joined Butaramwari. My mom used to say, oh, this is a difficult, at the time of waiting, this period, it was a difficult time for her. It was not easy. Me, I was one of the youngest in the family at this time. I wouldn't know much, but what I'm talking about now is the things which I started to recognize when I was about 6 years old, I think. That's when I recognized people like Wanamai Huni coming by the gate to shout here, the Masiband and neighbors coming to shout here, and the Gondo when he was transferred from R42 to Ski Square. I remember Gondo. I know her. I know him. I think I was about 7, 8 by the time they were transferred. I think I was in grade 3 or 4 or 5, somewhere, 3, 4, between 3 and 4. And when my women were coming by the gate to shout at Mom, and I think I've given the testimony. When I saw my woman at Lopengula when I was coming now and as a big woman coming from UK, I said to him when we went back after the service, when we got home, after he's changed, as I said, that when he's in uniform, we don't talk any nonsense. When he's now in a fatherly mood, I said, Papa, I laughed. For those who have met him, which I say face to face with him, those who are going in the holies, he laughed, gave that nice smile, you know. What was the one? Hey, don't see my way. No, I took a my papa. Then he goes, you know that time you were about 6 and a half. going to 7, I think. Me, I thought I'm talking to him. He was seated by the dining table having his cup of tea or something. I can't remember. I said, that woman I saw, that's the one who was shouting at Mom that day. And he goes, yeah, and he stopped, he laughed, and he nearly as if he was gonna choke laughing. Then when I went to Buddha one day, he goes, me, I thought it was over. The story I've told him is over. Then when we went to Buddha, the guy who handles the Ngaraba procedure, whatever, I think Umvunja at the time, said, you are being called Ngara. As I said, when he's at Buddha and when he's in that attire, we respect his Matenga. I was so scared to be called in the Ngara. And I said, Mina, I said, yes. You're being called. Then I was called. Then he was explaining that woman was asking for forgiveness. And that woman said, oh, I'm sick. So my one did ask for forgiveness. Yeah, I'm bringing up this story because he was surprised that I could remember at a young age. And as I said, our family was one of the bullied family in Zimbabwe, which I've never seen somebody who get to be bullied from your mom up to the last born. They're all being bullied. The whole family. Up to now, some they're still doing it. Some they do it indirectly. But God has protected us. For me to be this woman and this being old like this, without even getting my arm broken, my leg broken, it's all God's protection. And it's all following the standing orders. Umtwana, Olami, lies, Katizong. For those who read all these statutes, they know this chapter. Anyway, as I said, yeah, here, this is when we're at Mzilikazi. That is my brother on the left, Daniel. In the middle, that's him. And that's me there as a teenager. As I said, he was a loving father behind at the end of the day. He's the one who taught us, because as I said, I lost my mom when I was young. The time, I remember the times table, the time, our time is it, everything. Just like what you do with your children, to checking the homeworks. You know, we do our own homework, but you check the proofreading. He used to love to read newspapers. He used to listen to, at the time it was Radio 2, speech radio. That's where I copied how to listen to speech radio. Here he was just sitting. That is me, and that's the great-grandson, daughter. It's called Samara. That's him. That's his recently. And some years ago, in 2002. But anyway, that's here at Mzilikazi in one of the promised days. That was, I think, 2015 or 2014, I can't remember. Forgive me for that. Well, since I've been born, I've been attending all these functions. Some of them fine, I missed them because I was here overseas. But we grew up in this family knowing everything. That's my mom. My mom is a God saint. My mom is a saint from God. My mom is everything. Yes, it might sound awful talking like this, because every mother is important to their children. Every mother is important. But there is something, the uniqueness, as I said, that is this complaint for like the ones which says, oh, why this family? Us, we as children, like I said, I never heard them quarrel. I never heard shouting, why this family shouting at my father or doing anything. That means she was doing it in a way where we couldn't see. It was a loving couple in my eyes. So all the good manners. My mom in English, she ticked all the boxes. She was a good woman. She was everything. Unfortunately, her life was cut short. And my father taught us how to accept death. How to, that is in lesson 6 for those who want to read. It was not easy. It was not easy because you find that why they've suffered going through this, especially for my father. I felt so sorry for him as I grow older, knowing about relationships. He has gone through this, now he's going through this, now he's going through this, even during the difficult time of 2003. But what I can tell you is the host doing the 2 jobs of father in 2, it was not easy. And it was not easy for a man to continue doing both duties, which is supposed to be done by a woman, but to be done again by a man. I mean, advising us, me most of the things, he's the one who taught me. And I don't want to lie about it or to exaggerate or to say something. I'm telling the truth. There's nothing which he did not say at all. Here, it is one of the days when we're celebrating his birthdays before he decided to be celebrated by the children of God at Kuta. We used to do it at home. Like I said, like any other family, you would enjoy behind the doors. Yes, as I said, the situation outside was very painful, but inside in the house, it was okay. Even going out to say I'm going to town, I was not scared because we were protected by God. That's why I understand what is God, because I've been through it, that you can be protected. But for you to be protected, you must be really devoted. It's all in the 12th lesson, devotion to God. You read all those books and you put it into practice. Practice what you preach. I was born and bred in it. I practice what I preach, and God do protect you. Next slide, please. When he's dressed like this, the other is going to a visit to a relative. He just feels like he wants to go in a uniform. He holds this, or he's traveling. When he's going to Victoria Falls on a Guta trip, because he's gonna go overnight train. I grew up time for Rhodesia. He used to use first class. It was very nice and comfortable. Everything was okay. He would dress like this. He'll be going maybe to Victoria Falls, or he's going for a day for somebody who's going to see, or he's going to visit the Chamoto family. Sometimes when he's feeling like he wants to wear the uniform, sometimes you go like this. Sometimes you go in his normal civilian clothes. When he's dressed like this, yes, I can call him Baba, because he doesn't have the search on. And you feel comfortable talking to him as Baba like this. But when he's got that search, and you too also, you feel to respect. It was very strange. Somebody will say, oh, I can't cope up with this. Oh, yeah, what type of life is this? But we accepted it. And we knew him. We enjoyed him. Who could tell? No, today this topic, we're not going to talk about it, because Guta has got a lot to, because he had a lot. As Matenga, as Matenga being used by God, he transformed people's lives in front of our eyes. That's how you feel scared just talking nonsense to him, because you could see that my father is in different types of a person. So why should I say this? Why should I take this? Anyway, maybe I'll tell you tomorrow when I see you in the mood. Because maybe I'll be coming from a service with him. I would have seen the people maybe joining Buddha, sick people, everything. But when I look at them within the 3 months, those people are different. Those people are nice. Those people are looking clean. Those people are already, after 3 months, 4 months, they're already in the queue of wearing the Buddha uniform. As Matenga, he worked hard for the past 43 years. I don't know how I can say it and how I can describe it, because some people, they think to be in English, they say jack of all trades, you have to be a woman. That's where you saw that my father, there's something within him. Talking about the languages, he would talk every language, exactly what is in the 12th lesson, that when they descended, he said different languages. We have seen that in our own eyes. You talk his own language, in the Zambian language, the Bemba. You talk with somebody from Livingstone, Xhosa, you talk in South Africa. You talk all the languages. We heard in Botswana. I've attended so many services with him. You will correct somebody who's translating. That's not the word. That's not what was. He was amazing. He was unique. I miss him every day, every minute. He's at the back of my mind. It's in my everyday life. Because I've seen so many things. And for me to be here, I know it's God. And I know it's part of my father who are used by God, you know. And I don't, it is a unique family. We are different. Yes, you might see me as just an ordinary Helen or West. I like to be simple anyway. But the way I was brought up, it was, if I was somebody who tries to be somebody, I wouldn't be talking to anybody. But we are not like that. He taught us to like it, but he taught us to know what to do towards anybody or any other. What you are seeing now, what is happening with this disease, he taught us all that. How we don't just go about greeting people. You don't know whether they've washed their hands or they've what. You don't move at night. You know, everything. There's nothing he didn't say. You don't split on the floor. Whenever people are splitting like this, you don't know what they are. You all make sure to tissue, handkerchief. All the teachings which he taught in Butaramwari, we can imagine that from his own children, he was saying them. That's why I'm saying that the way we brought up, it was something else. It was most of the things we hear now, which they are being said now, especially with this pandemic. I've heard them before. I've heard them from him. Some of these hygienic things, I've heard them from him. That's where you saw that he wasn't just an ordinary person. There was something with him. Because everything which comes in the news, he has said it before. He has. It is a blessing to be in Butaramwari. It is a blessing. What I can say is we must all be brave and continue doing all the standing orders. Can you have another slide, please? The standing orders, following everything. Because Butaramwari, there's power. There's nothing you cannot get if you are following the standing orders. Cleanliness is next to God. It's a saying what everybody knows it. Here it's in Mzilikazi during the festival this season of the Promised Day. Next slide, please. That's him. I think it was one of the, it was just after the 31st of waiting when he was now in 2. That's him. And that's my mom outside R43. That's that is Mzilikazi as well, where it all started. That's my mom and the last born, my brother. Next, that's my father and mother with Juliet and Gladys. Gladys is my his second born. He's late, as we all know. That's him. That was the first promised day after a very long time, and after my aunt is born as well. That's my, as we can see, is living Famona there, and that's on the left there. That's part of the family. That's my sister and the children. They're just, well, we picking him up from Famona and going to Lobengula. Next slide, please. That's those were the surviving children. Which year is this? That was, I think, 2003, I think, early or end of 2002. That picture, we were at Famona. And two of them, we are no longer with them. The 2 of them, which is Enya and Daniel. All of them, there's Mvangeli there, as you can see. There's Mrs. Chamoto, there's me, there's Sis Freddy, there's Sarah. They are all Liza, Tayali, and Taxel Tayali children. They are all host family children. Anyway, while you may go, I think I've come to an end with my speech. May God protect us and all of us have the opportunity to see the museum. Can you play that song, please? And while we are waiting, preparing for the promised day, and show how it used to be. Where is it? Where is Evangelist? Yeah, this clip.
It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. We were just making sure the volume and the sound is all good to go. And
yeah. This is when they were arriving at the trade fair after leaving Famona, as you saw that first photo. This is what used to be the excitement of welcoming you. There are so many people who have been blessed in Garamari. Everybody was there celebrating, and we know that the promised day comes with a present. It's for everybody. May God protect us. We all have good present. And what we are expecting. But as I say, we must all stand by the promise. May God bless all my people. May God protect us all. Yeah, Narini.
Narini. Narini. There are others who are still talking because of excitement. Can you mute yourselves, please? Oh my goodness, my goodness. You know, Holy Message, one question that was coming into my mind, and I'm thinking, you are talking about all this happening around in the family. And how about shopping? Did you ever have the opportunity of going shopping? Can you just answer very quickly on that too? That was one of the burning questions. I wanted to hear how you did that. Holy Messenger Tyler Adams.
Yes, we did, but not really. I wouldn't call it shopping. Maybe you'll be going to take some measurements for his mom uniform. He used to go at Eric Davis. As I said, I grew up when it was Rhodesia. There was a shop called Eric Davis where they made some suits. And we used to go at Edgar's for us to pick up some clothes. And Sales House at the time was Good Sales House and Edgar's. Those are the shops we used to go. And we pick up whatever we want. And it would be very nice to know the driver. But unfortunately, as you know, people change. I don't know whether it's in Chavala or way, but there was a driver. Because while I'm on that, when we were walking from the car on the pavement of Edgar's, there was a young boy at the time who came running saying, "Oh, no, as I said, that the family was always being bullied. And I said to him, Papa, when we got into Edgar's, then he said, what a gerewa nangu, what a kuwara. So he taught me that, everybody who says, my child is this and that, I should just dismiss them, they're sick. Because that's how he used to tell me. What a gerewa kuwara. They used to call him like that because he did those miracles of healing people. He transformed people's lives.
Yay, amen. We are so privileged to hear this. How about food? What was his favorite food? What was his favorite food?
But how come it's only you asking questions?
We are putting the spot.
Yeah, he liked fish.
Exactly. Maybe you never know.
He liked fish. He liked on the meat side. Every meat we got, it has to be well done. Oxtail, it has to be well done. As you know, the people, even if he's going on a Guta trip, it's certain people who are chosen to cook for you. For example, even your Kokeli Naga Constance was one of them as well at the time. People cook well cooked. But and rice, he ate rice. A chicken, as you know, we didn't eat chicken because of that story. And it's a true story. One thing about Kutaramwari, it's an amazing true story. No exaggerating. We are telling the truth, what we saw and what we know about it.
Thank you, Holy Messenger, Helen Tyler Adams. There's another question in the chat box.
Why others?
What type of fruits did he really enjoy?
We at Mzilingazi, we used to have a pawpaw tree, a guava tree, all the fruits, I saw him eating them. Mm-hmm. Even the mango, he did like the mango. He would just slice it. Mm-hmm. My father has always been, but you wouldn't see him doing this mango behind. He would slice it into chopping it into small pieces and eat it in a nice way. But he ate even peaches. He did eat all the fruits, just like any. He was a normal person. From the father's side, he would do what normal people do. with their children.
Wow, wow, we are fortunate. If you have any other questions, pop them in there or raise your hand. And we are just hearing live from the horse's mouth, those who were there, those who lived. And we are very fortunate. We are very, very fortunate to have this opportunity to a question and answer method session where we are getting some very, very important lessons and living and looking at the coming of or the return of God. And when we talk of that in 1961, it wasn't easy. And we can hear that the family was bullied. And you can imagine wherever they were, they were being bullied. And I'm sorry if you think and you are able to perpetuate this kind of bullying this day and age. If I were you, I would desist. I would stop it. I would not do it. And it's important that we look at these things that we are learning. And I remember just something that has trickled my mind when you talked about, you know, the way God said, I don't want a bodyguard, me being a bodyguard. We had a similar incident when we were going to Nyazura. The tire got flat, and we were with Mvangeri Chinembiri at that time. And as a team, we said, no, we can't let God stay here whilst we are trying to change the tire and all that. Let's take him home with another to Gomo, with another car that we was following behind. And so Mvangeri Chinembiri went and said, Matenga, we would like you to get into this other vehicle so we can take you to Gomo. And whilst we fix the car, because it's going to take long, we don't have a spare tire or a spare wheel to cover that, because there was different type of bolts and nuts and all. It's a long story, but I'm just trying to get to my point. The thing was that the question was, Imimi Munosaranan, who will look after you? And the door was closed. That's what happened. And we stayed there. He stayed there until in the wee hours. But I can imagine, and you talked about Ngarava going on and on, Holy of Holies, going until late in the evening, and he will still be there. Imagine from morning until evening. It wasn't easy. Some people might think, oh, what? But it was not easy. And then you'd go home at night. And some of us witnessed that. Some of us were part of that. There's a question in the chat box that, was there a reason for not eating chicken?
Yeah, it's there in the 12 lessons. Unfortunately, I can't remember the chapter. The chicken is the one which was cooked, I think. Then when it was, my understanding, though I stand corrected, it wasn't, at the time, it wasn't cooked well enough. I think it put him from that incident up to now. He didn't eat it anymore. But that's the story from the 12th lesson. When he was going this transformation, he was saved by a chicken. There was a chicken cooked by somebody. That chicken wasn't well cooked as well. And I don't know whether the reason is not well cooked, or it's a mixture of at the time when he was going through this transition of the God descending into him. So that's when he gave up the chicken. But he did explain to us, I can't remember, there are so many things, because even his own cutlery, you'd have his own special cutlery, because he would even smell it. He would say, maybe it will have to be re-washed again with the sunlight liquid, or you will say it will have another set of cups, because that smell of chicken.
Okay, we will continue to learn from this. I think I'll take this as the second last question. If there's any, pop them in there. There's one that's written there. When the host visited England, were there any other places that he visited besides Trafalgar Square? If you remember, a Holy Messenger, that visit into the United Kingdom, what other places? I'm sure I would also want to go and walk around there. I've been to Trafalgar Square before, but I would want to go and follow the footsteps, and it would be nice. Do you remember any of those other places that he visited?
Yes, I was there, but he lived most of the time in Brighton with Wazukuru, which is Tendai and Rebecca. But then where we went, it was it was dinner by the embankment. You see that boat by embankment?
Yes.
The restaurant is in a boat. That's where he went. Yes. That's where we went. And again, he wasn't really impressed that 100% because of, using public cutler, as I said, which because Mazai and so forth and so. But I do have the photos. I don't know why I didn't post them. When I was in the restaurant with him, I do have them.
Wow, we can see them next time. We can definitely see them next time. It never stops. As amazing stuff there. And is there any other question? Any other questions? To any or Mangeri Moyo as well, if you have any questions. I'm just checking if there's anything written in there. Evangelist Moyo, just tell us a little bit. We have heard about Mvangeri Tawadzera not closing his eyes during prayers or whatever it is. What do you remember that time? Do you remember that kind of story? What was behind the story?
Mvangeri Tawadzera used not to close his eyes. Semunhu aive mupurisa aiziva kuti ruvengo rwakadai sometimes it doesn't end well. Ndosaka vakange vasingatsidziwi, vaigara vakashinura wherever nokuti ruvengo rwacho rwanga rusingaiti. Nevana vakange vakuzikanwa, takange takuzikanwa kuti tiri vana veguta raMwari, nokuti taibva kunamba 6 uko tichifamba tichifura kufire brigade dakara kuMupopomwa South. Saka vazhinji vaitiona. So rimwe zuva kuchikoro nababa vaiuya vakange vakuzikanwa kuti ndeveguta raMwari. Saka vaiuya kuchikoro, sometimes he used to pick us nemota kuchikoro. Saka rimwe zuva ticha tiri paassembly, pana ticha akauya. Auya kwandiri ndokundiwadza nyembama. Kochii? Ndikati ameno nokuti ndaizwa kuti hapana chandakanganisa. Ndobva abva ipapo. Ndakuenda kumba, ndakusvika, ndakutaura kuti ini nhasi ndarohwa kuchikoro, handizivi kuti ndaroherwei. Handichazivi kuti ndiani akati neniwo ndarohwa. Ko zviri kufamba sei, wanga waitei? Zvikanzi nothing. Only to hear after 1 or 2 days kuti hanzi you make noise for us while we are still asleep every Sunday morning. Handiti aimboridza ngoma. Zvikanzi you make noise, ruru ruvengo rwokuvenga guta. But to my surprise, vamwe vacho vaivenga guta saizvozvi, they ended up in guta raMwari.
Wow. Yeah, thank you very much for that. You could see the hatred that was happening at the time when God returned in 1961. It was not easy. And we are privileged and sincerely privileged to have these versions of those who were there, who witnessed. I've got another last question to you, Holy Messenger Tyali Adams, and it says here, did he used to listen to the TV or radio or what? Was there any moments you shared on TV or whatever? Please help us.
For us, reading, he loved reading newspaper. Every day, somebody, one of the children would go and get a chronicle. Radio, he loved the radio too. He loved speech radio, because like maybe you will find us maybe playing songs, as you know, teenagers would be playing Jimmy Cliff, whatever. You would say, Maridza maniki ndiyo dzenyichi, mchitererawo radio, mchitererawo news. That's, you know, he was really strict on that, to listen to news and then the speech radio. And me too, I'm into that as well. I copied him.
Wow. That brings to the end, unless there's someone with a burning question. If you do, please raise your hand, either physically or on the chat. If you have any questions, I'm just going through everyone. Everyone who have a question. No, I don't see anyone there with a question. I want to go to the, as I requested, the Saurombes. Yeah, please, can you lead us into that one? Sikala Lomdali.
I don't know.
Mati, which song?
Sihlala naye umdali nxa ebonakala sihlala naye
umdali bonakala thina sihlala naye umdali bonakala thina sihlala naye
Wow, Narini. Oh my goodness, I can't just imagine what I've learned today. Favorite dishes, favorite when to call father, holy host. It was just something that, imagine living in those times, imagine living in those circumstances. Some of us, of course, depending on how you were raised, but you could imagine the bullying that was going on. We could imagine what Evangelist Moyo told us today about the activities that were going on, the transitions from healing, sitting on the floor, sitting on benches as a group, and then being personalized. The transition of Gutaramari. And we are here now. Our uniforms also transitioned from the shorts to where we are now. Similarly, over the ladies, everything has transitioned in Gutaramari. And we are fortunate to be having presenters like the two presenters we had. It remains for me to thank the presenters they've taken to prepare their speech, prepare their slides, prepare their work so that they could share with us. I think we want to sincerely thank them, and we know only God can bless them enough and abundantly for sharing, for enriching us with this important information, for enriching us with this important knowledge about Gutaramari, about the life of the host, about the return of God. That brings to where we are as Gutaramari children. You know, so it's an amazing journey. And this is just one of the big series to start this year. And of course, some of the brains behind this are Elder Chakanza. If you're there, I want to also acknowledge you publicly for coming together with these programs. So we have lined out a lot of programs for us to enrich. And of course, we want to keep them at most to about 1.5 hours. And I'm very mindful of time, at most 1.5 hours, so that we are all able to subscribe. All of us are able to enjoy, rather than if they take too long, others may then start to drop out because of Wi-Fi and all this. So it is important that we continue to share, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode where we are going to talk about, I think if you look on our calendar, another lecture is going to look at the the Holy Host birthdays and Amaila Zatayali's life and so forth. Please tune into our calendar, see what we have lined out for ourselves. As I said, the closer you are to the heat fire, you can absorb as much heat as you can. The further away you are from the fire, you start to get cold. We want to be warm. We want to be warm, and we want to embrace the fire. We want to embrace the religion. We want to embrace the Holy Spirit. So we want to be as close as we can. And to be close, we need to be listening. And this is food for the spirit. And we praise God for the opportunity. May God bless all that have attended this important inaugural session to look at the return of God in 1961, forever and ever.
Narini.
Narini. Last verse from the Saurombes, and we will end the session so we can prepare for the afternoon session. Narini, admin, do you have one song as we are logging out? Admin, if you have a song, prepare that song as we are logging out. We can't wait to meet with you in the afternoon. And this is a very important season, starting as long, please tune into our Zoom programs. And if you or branch activities that are going on, as we have said, we have the 31st, we have the 3rd, we do have the Friday, the 4th, we have the 5th Saturday, we have the 6th, and the program will be out tomorrow. Look out for it. You will be enjoying that. Happy Chivimbiso. Can we, if you are joining Zoom, please decorate for Chivimbiso. We will have a very important competition on who is doing what, and I can't wait for that. Admin, do you have any song? If not, we are going to end the session, and we'll see you again in the next episode. Thank you very much. May God bless forever and ever. Narini. Don't leave, please.
lebonakala thina sihlala naye nomdala lebonakala thina sihlala naye sihlala naye sihlala naye sihlala naye sihlala naye nomdala lebonakala thina sihlala naye nomdala lebonakala thina sihlala naye Lebonakala,